How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. What is up, people? Welcome to another episode. It is July 23rd. It's the best day of the year, and it's a Wednesday. Tomorrow, final stream of the week, but we still got a lot of time before that. So let's talk about the market moves today. Awesome moves on the market, honestly. There were so many moves overall. You even had the after hour move from Google, from Tesla, one going up, the other going down. The short squeeze basket kind of went crazy in pre-market, but then they got sold off completely back to the south side. Some of the earnings names that I prepared for last night on stream with you guys actually set up the way I wanted it to, so made some money on those names. One of them didn't set up the way I wanted it to, and sadly that was the one that I made the short for. However, money was made, so profits was a good day of profits. Nice little green day today. Could have had a much bigger day. That's usually the story of my trading. Could have had always a much bigger day. Kept my sizing small after the overconfident trading I pulled off yesterday, and ended up giving back a lot of the money that I made previously. But yeah, because of that, yesterday's performance today kind of said, let's calm it down a little bit, go back to normal sizing, and trade properly, and I think we were able to pull that off. So let's see if we can do that tomorrow again. Repeat. Consistency, that's the name of the game, right? How consistent can you be in your processes, and your discipline, and your patience, and so on, to make that sweet cheddar cheese. Let's head over to the full screen, talk to you guys about all of my trades on the day, and then potentially even prepare for the trades tomorrow, going through the watch list. So if you guys have any stocks you want me to take a look at, throw it in the watch list. But sadly, we don't have a lot of time today. I don't want to be streaming all night, but we did have to start the stream a little late because it's my birthday. I had to cut cake. I had to I spent some time. I shouldn't say had. It's not like anyone forced me, and not that I didn't want to. Took some time off, spent some time with the family members, cut some nice mango cake. The family members brought some mango cake for me. It was actually my niece's pick. She picked the mango cake. She picked the right cake because I love mango, baby. And it was actually pretty good. Eggless mango cake, apparently. Not bad at all. But let's, on the food side, coming back to the market, which is where we're actually going to kill to eat. Let's head over to the full screen and talk about my trades on the day, baby. Let's talk about it. Hims, happy birthday. Yeah, we for sure have Hims on the watch list. No doubt about that one. Very disappointed with myself today with not trading Hims. There was a situation where Hims alerts played off. Alert 53 Hims went off today. And I said, you know what? No, I'm going to ignore this stock because I don't think it's important today. The chances are it does nothing at all. And I was completely wrong. The high short float component of Hims absolutely catapulted that stock to the north side today. Taking it to what, like $60? What a miss, man. What an absolute miss over there on HIMS. Anyways, on the watch list for sure. We'll talk about that. Before we head over there, let's talk about my trades on the day first. And I don't know if you guys noticed something special. We are now a proud owner of the new Perplexity browser Comet. Let's go. We, I'll be honest, I begged for it a little bit. Where is it? Where's my post? The post is not... Oh, there it is. I begged for it a little bit. I said, all I want for my 31st birthday is a big booty. Oh, no. All I want for my birthday is a invite to Perplexity Comet, and they actually sent me one, which is insane. Absolutely legend. Thank you, Cameron, for hooking me up with it. But what's more cool is, they actually are interested in how I will be using their new browser, their new assistant-based browser to help me in trading, and also how can we elevate the use cases and all the good points and the positive things about Comet browser for the trading sphere. So I can't wait to play with this browser for the next few months, few months, and to show you guys everything that I find about it, man. So far there's been so many use cases already that you can find about it if you just go through Twitter. Oh man, Sweeney.
I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that?
Yeah, I think we have to go long AEO, guys. This stock is about to go wild. I think we have to go long AEO. I think it's pretty obvious. Hold up. Let me put this stock on the watch list because it's not on the watch list. And it deserves up there. Also, along with that, deserves Donut. Is Donut up there? Donut is not up there. DNUT. Along with Donut, we need to add some other small cap names. What is it? What's the other not small caps? Squeeze names. KSS. G Pro, all these names are coming back into play. What a time to be alive. Maybe ANF is also worth watching. Anyways, the point that we were talking about, this browser is just absolutely insane, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the capabilities of that browser. Show you guys to start off with my trades on the day. TXN, this is a name that I talked about last night on stream. We prepped for it last night on stream. Wanted to see if the after hours, the after hour low slash the 200-day moving average area, which was 190 to 189. If you were here yesterday on stream, that's exactly what we had in the notes, 189 slash 190. See if buyers can show up in this area. It exactly bounces off the, where is it? Where's my charts here? Let's go to TXN. It bounces exactly off of the pre-market lows. You can see how we do make a little bit of a lower push down in the pre-market past the after hour low, pop up, and then get pushed right back down, and then we managed to bounce from that area. So using that to get long on the day trade basket. Oh, we're in the same window here. Using that to get long on the day trade basket over here, adding some shares on the dip, taking some size on the pops, and then overall trying to see if there's a bigger move to the upside, because another name that did a similar move, FI, was actually making that move that I wanted. So FI was insanely ripping to the upside. However, TXN was getting stalled out into the VWAP and dying down. So taking my profits quickly, nice little base hit to start the day. Much later on, I get an alert saying, hey, the stock is right back into low a day, potentially a double bottom. Or you get a little consolidation around the low a day and then a break of this low for an even bigger extension south side, which is possible. Ideally, when a stock makes this big of a move off the earnings report, it actually bounces and just keeps going higher, like FI does not really pull back. But if it does pull back and gives you a double bottom, it should have made that move here all the way back into the opening price, but it didn't. It found another area of resistance right back into the 200-day moving average, right where the previous sellers came in. Maybe the same seller or new sellers just coming in, blocking the stock from going any higher. And that was a signal where you could have actually flipped from the long back into the short. I was a little upset for covering my trade here by mistake. I didn't want to close the trade completely. But because I did close the trade here completely, I stopped looking at the name. I think, I would like to hope at the very least that had I not done that and the stock, I tried to hold some shares for the bigger move, it never played out, but I would have been able to stay in the stock a little bit longer, potentially get stopped out somewhere in this area or somewhere here, and then when I do get stopped out, I would be able to flip back into the short and catch this whole move south side. Instead, I don't catch that whole move south. I do catch a little bit of that move, maybe 50% of that move. You can see how 50% of that move actually started above where my entry is, right from VWAP into the low a day. So I take the low a day breakout with starter position, and then looking to see if the stock is going to be weak, and continued weakness is the story. So stock just keeps on getting plummeted, breaks 187. I add to my position, turned it into a B trade in this area, and then basically trying to see how low can we go, trying to see if 185 is going to be a target, basically playing a measured move as a target from this whole range. I think the measured move doesn't really play out. The stock just basically goes sideways. 185 is basically a call wall, so makes sense that we didn't break 185. But hey, surprised that it was so weak on the day. I could have capitalized on the long twice, and I could have capitalized on a bigger short. Still capitalized on the short, so I'm not going to be too upset over there. TXN, good trade. Roblox, wasn't watching it around this time of the day, so missing out on the nice short on the failure to stay above 118. You can see how it tried to stay above 118 for quite some time, about 30 minutes or so after the open, and then eventually you have the opening range breakdown right at the 118 area, which is also the significant price from the daily level. So nice breakdown, opening range. That's your short here, or you could have even waited a little bit longer and then actually take that entry here, because you see how it tries to pop, fails, and then gets slammed back down. That's your opportunity to turn that into a real trade with the starter size here, or you can just wait for this little action and then turn that into a real trade there overall. However, I wasn't watching the stock at that moment. As I mentioned, I actually came into see the stock at 116. I was just going through my watch list of names, cycling through names on the day. Noticed that Roblox was at its low a day around 116.50, 116.30, or 116.40. Somewhere around that area was the low a day. And on every single pop, the stock would just get sold right back down. So it took a small size trade, giving it till that 117 area, so basically $1 per share, and then I got about $1 per share reward, so 1:1 reward. But had I managed it better, I would have gotten a 2:1 out of it. I guess like basically a nothing burger trade, you know, a coin flip of a trade end of day, and I'm making a 1:1 risk to reward on it. Not really the best trade if you ask me, because you want to aim for 2:1. The probability of this trade losing honestly was maybe even higher than a 50%, maybe like 60% chance that this trade loses, because the stock had already made a pretty decent move from its high a day into the low a day. This could have easily been a failed breakdown, and then we snap back into VWAP, exactly how the how the stock snapbacks into VWAP and then retraces basically all of the selling later on in the day. So pretty stupid trade if you ask me, but I kept the size small and I took advantage of that continued bearish sentiment on the stock on the day today. So quick little scalp in and out. I'm not gonna be too upset about that one for myself, but maybe I should be, because that should not have been an entry. I forced that trade because I didn't catch it over here, and I tried to get lucky, and get lucky I did, yay me. But these are the bad habits that will force you into taking that trade again next time, and then next time, and then next time. Yeah, you won today, but the chances are 60% of the time you lose on those trades, and if you're only making 1:1 on that trade overall, you are overall losing on that setup. So those are the type of statistics that you want to track, how you're trading a stock, what is the stock's setups win rate, how much are you winning on that setup, how much is the back tested win rate on that setup, how could you improve, and all these little micromanagement, you know, min-maxing your trading ability. It's like a video game. It's not like a video game, it is a video game, right? So when you're playing a video game like a MMORPG, you always try to min-max your character. At least I do. And when you're playing a game like life over here and trading, you absolutely want to min-max those little attributes so you can perform the best, do your most optimal performance on a day-to-day basis. And I think Roblox is a trade that I could have easily avoided, and I have to chalk it up as a very lucky trade on the day. Moving on to APH. Did not know that the stock was getting slammed over here. Had I, you know, I think we gave APH a lower priority on the day today, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't really look at APH much. I pulled it up a couple times on the day, and I did notice that the stock was up like 2-3% or so, but I didn't notice that it was getting below VWAP, broke the low day, broke the opening range, had a pretty good big dog consolidation, I guess you would call this. I'm not sure if that's what you would call this. Another important thing to know is the stock's conference call time. The stock's conference call time was pretty late in the day, and the conference call actually started this whole move to the south side and this destruction move over here. Had you been able to catch that, that would have been monster. And if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense why the stock did this move. They reported well, at least I think they did. They gapped up in the pre-market after reporting well, or they moved up in the pre-market and they opened up in a gapped up position and traded higher than the previous close, than the previous all-time high, and so on. Looked pretty bullish off the earnings report, but after the conference call, investors got scared. Anyone who bought it in the previous areas of 90s to 105 is shitting themselves, for a lack of a better word. They're absolutely scared, and you can see them trying to de-risk, potentially trapping some buyers over here thinking, oh, we're getting a dip buy into previous all-time high, and then eventually using all of that and maybe whatever it was in the conference call, using that as a reason to sell the crap out of this name today. So something to deep dive into as to what exactly was in the conference call, what exactly was in the earnings report that caused the pop and then caused the leakage right back to the south side. The setup that I pulled off over here was basically, you know, I'm too late to the party to catch the short because the short already played out without me. So what I was looking for was the capitulation long. However, the capitulation long got immediately stuffed back down. You can see how there was a little bit of a volume spike here. The stock tried to go back up. It struggled to go back up and really make that real capitulation, that real V-shaped recovery back into VWAP, and sellers just basically driving it back down. They make a new low a day, and then now you can see sellers basically showing up around 97 and below 97. So if that's the case, you know, I can really monkey into a trade here, giving myself very tight risk. If this move is not done yet, there's a bigger move you're telling me that I can be part of. All right, then I am willing to take that chance. I'm risking maybe 50 cents over here for a big opportunity that could play out. Sadly, that big opportunity ended up dying out right after me making maybe $1.50 or so. So I made about, you know, 2R on that trade. Would have been nice to catch that trade over there, but still managing to capture a little bit of the piece. Just because the simple ideology, if it's not the start of if it's not the end of a move, usually a volume signal of that big, you can't see it on this chart here. But if you head over to trading view, you can see how that volume spike is pretty big compared to the opening volume. So when a volume is that big and the stock doesn't really capitulate, then the chances are it's not the end of a move, it's the start of a move. So that kind of looks capitulatory, and then it starts to look really weak and starts pushing back lower. So taking advantage of that little leakage over there as a round 2 opportunity. Would have been nice to catch the long though. You can see how exactly where I got stopped out of my position. Would have been an insane flip back along, right back into VWAP, and that exactly lines up with when the stock ends its conference call. Surprise, surprise. Lines up exactly as the stock ends its conference call. STLA, Trump announces tariffs with Japan, with EU, and they're actually much more lenient than previously threatened. So stocks such as STLA, GM, EWG, which is a Germany ETF, all started going up to the north side. I'm looking for some sort of a bigger explosive move here on STLA. I didn't really get what I was looking for. It did hold the 9 moving average on 5-minute. It held the 20 moving average on the 5-minute also. But you can see how on the pop here, it should have gone here. But it didn't. Got sold off. Didn't trigger my stop. Okay, cool. But it started popping right back up and again struggling. So I said, why am I bothering with holding this name? Let me just walk away from this garbage. Most likely it's trading sideways or it's going to stop me out. At that point, I'm going to lose money on this name instead of just walking away for a tiny little winner on this. So made the right decision. You can see how the stock basically did nothing for the rest of the day. BABA gapping up, going above the previous 3-day high, which was 122. Actually forgot to talk about this stock yesterday on stream, so missing out this one on the watch list, but I remembered it in pre-market, so I put it in my watch list in the pre-market. BABA makes a run up in the off the open, sorry, pulls back and tries to hold around 123, which is the pre-market high, and also around VWAP. So I get long, trying to risk the low of this little range over here, but right after I get long, honestly, the range high doesn't even break. I try to get cute a little bit and see if I can get a little bit of a better price than the range high. So technically would not even have been an entry and would not have been a loss at all, but taking a little entry and giving a quick little exit, about 50 cents per share, 40 cents per share exit, so losing some money over there. Leaking, bucket leaks as my boss calls it. NIQ, a new IPO today, and absolute horrible executions from me, and honestly the IPO was garbage too. So blame the IPO a little bit, but also gotta blame myself, gotta hold myself accountable. So the longs, I'm okay with trying the longs. I'm not too upset with the long over here. What I am upset about is the short. after getting short, I had ample time to work into the short and really make a good trade out of it. The risk was very little. The risk was basically holding above 20, and it never held above 20 once it started to break down. So there was no reason for me to exit the way I did. I kind of used this as a reason to say, yeah, screw the stock. But you know, there was multiple time and reasons to get back in and give it the same risk if I wanted to, and that would have been an easy 20-cent risk maybe for a dollar per share move. So a little regret on NIQ today. No reason to be losing on this name at all. The long and the shorts over here ended up being a red name on the day. Second biggest loser on the day, and the biggest loser on the day was a name that I was very, very keen on trading, and it was Capital One Financial, the earnings name. I thought COF would do monstrous things today, and honestly, I guess it did a little bit, right? Off the open, you got the run up to the 230 area, but then the market weakness, I guess, really started selling off the stock. It pulled right back into the previous all-time high, 222. I try a long after what looks like a little double bottom. That fails. After I get stopped out, we push right back under the previous all-time high. It looks like, you know, I got stop hunted, so I get right back into the trade, and then that gets stopped out too. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm not bothering with this name anymore. I'm just gonna go focus on TXN, which is winning for me, and I'll wait patiently for the IPOs to open, which ended up being a garbage trade overall. So IPOs, wah, wah, wah. Okay, so closing that, and then opening up our good friends over at Center Point. But really quick before I go there, let's show you guys a little special treat from our friends at... Hello? What happened to the scanner? There we go. Okay. What the fuck is going on? Show me the hottest after-hour movers with volume. Also display the catalyst. Slash news. And other important details needed for day trading the stocks tomorrow in a table. Let's see what happens. Sheesh. Okay, so no catalyst, a penny name, 11% move, a lot of volume over there. Come on, penny stock. TSLL, that's basically Tesla. That's Tesla ETF. Tesla earnings and news, lots of volume over there on that one. In the after hours, that dropped a little bit. Google open door went up 6% after hours. Day trading highlights for the stock. Okay, Tesla, Google, QuantumScape, TSLL, BLMZ. What is this? Unusual activity noted. We already know for that. With chart moves tied to retail momentum trader activity, particularly without clear fundamental news. So those are probably in the short squeeze momentum stock basket to add on the watch list. Lower priced, high momentum names with big percentage moves and likely to be on the radar for short squeeze. Come on, guys. Well, like, yo, what more do you want from this? This is an awesome tool. I don't have to do any homework. This is gonna make me so lazy, but at the same time, it's going to expedite the way we do things and make my homework so much quicker. So just getting quick homework on my watch list over here. What to keep an eye out for tomorrow. Here are your small cap squeezers. IXHL doing decent volume. and making a 29% pop up. Open Door already has been a stock that's been moving a lot recently, so this is a pretty cool start already to help us out with the homework. And I'm pretty sure you could schedule tasks and so on. Oh, awesome. This means you can take a screenshot of your chart and then use that as a reference. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, there's a voice mode too, so I can basically talk to it like Jarvis. Oh, okay, let's try that. Let's go to the IPO calendar and oh, let's try this. Can you show me more about the IPO Figma Inc? Wait, what? This is just voice typing. This is not voice mode. How do I enter voice mode? Also said no voice detected. I might have to figure out that part later, but I've seen it that they have voice mode in here. But we can basically use voice mode to turn this into Jarvis, but I might need to set up that capability. I'm just starting this browser today, guys. I have to use this a little bit more, and then once we get better at it, you know, I'm gonna teach you guys how to use this browser, and eventually you'll get access to it too. Tomorrow we do have decent IPOs, so let's ask the assistant to summarize what those companies are, their growth, and all other fun stuff. Tomorrow we have 2 IPOs listed. Show me what these companies do, their growth, and other important details. So bang, let that bad boy do its little homework over there. In the meantime, I could also pull up my own manual homework by heading over to stockanalysis.com. But here's a quick little homework from the AI itself. So what is this? One of them is to open from the $18 to $20 range. Specialty insurance tech platform. Okay. Accelerated holdings. Key growth financials. Revenue. Are you growing or not? Data driven risk exchange connecting specialty insurance underwriters. I don't know what half of these are. Smarter transparent insurance marketing, recurring platform fees, rapid premium, 700% GWP in 3 years. Okay. What is the next one? McGraw-Hill, we know this one already. They make like what, publications, textbooks for high schools and so on. And we already did a little bit of research on this, if they're growing or not. Let's see if they showed us over here. Growing about 7% year over year. How about the other company? Tech-enabled platform, business model, strong rating, A- for the balance sheet and the risk management, expansion accelerated past 3 years. Okay, but we don't see any growth numbers. But a quick little homework over there for you, and you don't even have to, you know, click on the stock, read about more in detail, go back and forth about it, click on another link and then go back and forth about that link. This just analyzes this web page, sees exactly what you want to talk about based on your prompt, and then gives you all the details for your prompt too. So just imagine all the workflows that you can enable yourself to get faster with by the help of AI assistant right in your browser. This is going to be an absolute game changer. I want to try to see how it will do with TradingView tomorrow, maybe with like permutations of where the stock could go, and give me a trading setup based on that and on a live chart. So you're gonna see a lot more experimentation from me coming on this stock, on this platform. Let's head over to the watch list for tomorrow really quick. It's already 9 o'clock. So quickly want to go over some of the stocks that might be important tomorrow. You know, stocks like Hims. These names have been going insane recently. The short squeeze names, that is. How hard did Hims go today? 59.16. I thought it went to almost 60. I guess 59 is almost 60. So Hims, watching this one. QBTS looking like it's getting ready for you know, really crazy moves above $20. Might be something for me to take a look at on the On the swing account, so QBTS, IonQ is another one, which, ooh, IonQ doesn't want to really go. How about QUBT? That one doesn't want to go, so QBTS wants to start going crazy, huh? So watching QBTS, obviously that's already on the watch list. GEV made a monster move today on the earnings report, so looking for today's VWAP to come into some sort of a support. If it does, you know, maybe a day too long. 620 seems to be the support area, and I would guess that's where the VWAP ended up being if I was to pull up my TradingView app and see where is it? What was the stock again? God damn it, I forgot the ticker. GEV. There we go. GEV, there, yeah, 620 is the VWAP. I guessed that perfectly. So 620 VWAP is very ideal. Gotta watch that stock to see if it holds up or not. 620. QBTS, what is it? $20.50. That's on the watch for us. 20.50. If we start getting above it, oh baby, let's look for that squeeze momentum. This is a monstrous move today. Look for obviously today's VWAP. I don't think today's low comes into play at all, but obviously a very in play name at the moment with the whole short squeeze theme that's going on. GV, maybe not purple, maybe orange instead of purple. QuantumScape apparently sold off in the after hours a little bit, so yeah, that's obviously surprising because of the move that it pulled off yesterday. That was a monster short squeeze yesterday, and with this reversal over here right back to the south side, kind of showing you that it's a little murky now, probably going a little bit sideways, back and forth range about to form on the stock, and then we can see what opportunities play up. So QuantumScape not really as important on the watch list. Tesla reported earnings today. Don't really have time to read the report for you guys, but that's something that obviously I would urge you guys to do. I'm gonna do it after hours for myself, after the stream, sorry, for myself. So make sure that you're doing that too. I think Tesla, reported horrible based on what I saw on Twitter, on x.com. So based on that, it makes sense why the stock absolutely plummeted to the south side. Maybe more downside coming into play, whereas Google started off with going to the downside and then reverted right back to the upside. So pretty good for Google over here, making me really have FOMO for not going long Google at 180. Instead of Google, I picked Amazon to go long, so I guess I shouldn't really be having that much FOMO. I'm long Amazon around 219 or so. Is it 219? I think somewhere around 219 is where I'm long Amazon, so not really that much FOMO, but a little FOMO nevertheless, because the stock is looking like it's getting ready to make that ascent back to all-time high territories very, very soon. So shout out to the Google investors, Google holders. I see Victor H in the chat saying he's a very happy holder at the moment, so yeah, shout out to you, my friend. TH is in the house. John Vaughn's in the house. What's up, John? John saying Liquid, NIO, Lucid Motors, NIO, Nvidia, and Tesla. Since I already looked at Tesla, let me head over to Nvidia for you. The market's looking pretty good. I mean, if you looked at how some of the stocks that sold off yesterday made a complete reversal, for example, RTX, General Motors, this is a sign of a very, very resilient market. I'm not gonna say healthy market, because a healthy market, you don't get moves like Donut, you don't get moves like KSS and nonsensical moves going on, right? But you are getting that at the moment. The short squeeze gameplay is in effect, and oftentimes that shows you that the market's an euphoric area. People are running out of stocks to buy, so they're just pumping absolute stupid stocks out there. So just something to keep an eye out for. But the way that we are reacting, however, the VIX is going to the downside. VIX now breaking down. You don't really do technical analysis on VIX. You don't go, oh, VIX is breaking the 52-week low, I'm about to get short. sure on that, not really how it works on the VIX and so on, but it's breaking the most recent lows over here, showing you that the volatility is going lower. Potentially means that the fear is going down, and we're about to start seeing the scale tips more to the greed side. So a little bit of a shift in ideology in the market at the moment. So, you know, people were thinking we're about to get destroyed, but here you have RTX breaking out all-time highs. LMT holding a little bit better than you would have thought it would based on how it traded into the close yesterday. So keep an eye out for you know, resilient support showing up on good companies. I'm not saying Tesla is going to bounce tomorrow, but just watch out for resilient support on good companies. Nvidia, you know, if we do get back above yesterday's high, I think easily going back into the north side again on Nvidia. So making people like me who sold some shares yesterday cry a little bit. But you don't completely close the trade. You know, I'm not that stupid. Now I'm managing my trade using the moving averages. Whenever the moving averages start to come into play to the downside, then I'll just close my trade and walk away from Nvidia at the moment, enjoying the ride on the name. Robinhood, looking like it wants to push back to the south side. However, that might be triggering my order soon. Lucid Motors, I almost want to put a double birds up to Lucid Motors because they stopped me out below 280 and then ran right back up to the north side the very same day, which I didn't know that happened. So pretty annoyed at Lucid Motors. Almost don't want to trade the stock. And if you guys remember the last time I said, once a dog, always a dog. So I hate this name. I hate the stock. But I guess, you know, if it's a breakout, it's above the 200-day moving average, and it's trying to hold above it, whatever. If you want to get long around this area. Your stop technically should be, you know, $1 low. If the stock gets back under $1, you know, maybe you take your loss and move on from it. If it doesn't get back under, not $1, sorry, $2. If it doesn't get back under $2, then, you know, you just try to see if there's an eventual big move up here. I think I can wait. I don't have to be early to this game. I can be late, and then I can ride the momentum back up once the stock is actually changing fundamentally. Right now, I don't think Lucid is in that basket at all. Going back to my watch list, Mara went to the lower side today. They had an offering, so nice little breakdown, volume spike, 138 million shares traded on Mara. That's something to potentially keep an eye on. I'm not sure we're gonna see a proper day 2 on it, but something to keep an eye on. TXN, very weak today, so looking for that 190 to show up again tomorrow as a barrier. This is another call wall. If the stock does manage to get back above 190, there's just no more shorts at all. But with the way that we're trading today, I think a day 2 on a pop into 190 and failure to stay above 190 will make me watch that stock for a short opportunity without a doubt. Tesla, you know, day 1 trade tomorrow, so high priority. Google, day 1 trade tomorrow, high priority also. ENPH, almost similar to Mara, but this is an earnings name, so breaking down similar to Mara, but I don't really care to trade ENPH. I think there's so many better names at the moment. There's a short squeeze basket just going nuts, Donut, G Pro, and all these other crazy names. QBTS might go nuts tomorrow, and OKLO might break out over here. So you know, I'm watching these names more important for me than ENPH. So it's in the watch list for some sort of a day 2 if you care about it, but I don't think I care about it. So just gonna move on from this one. Go ahead and go to OKLO. As you can see over here, OKLO looks like it is getting ready for this little breakout, and someone, if I remember correctly, posted on Twitter that this is their favorite setup. If they could trade one setup for the rest of their life, it's this breakout over here. So OKLO into all-time high. Let's see if we do get that breakout and some extension on a nuclear name, whatever that price point is. It's around $71. 71. Let's put that on the watch list. CMG reported earnings today after hours and flushed. Absolutely got smoked. Chipotle Mexican Grill, what happened to you? Smoked is what happened to you. So CMG worth watching. You know, lots of levels in this areas. Let me actually go to my other watch list or other. No, not GME, CMG. There you go. Put that here. Put that there. Okay, so under one of the lines we drew, but above the other line so far. So under this little pivot low and staying under that pivot low. So pretty significant, I guess, that report to make the stock stay below that 49 area. So on pops, watch for 49 to show some weakness, 49.50. If the stock is not able to get above 49/50 tomorrow, I think there could be round 2 for the short after a pop. But if we drop lower in pre-market itself, then gotta see exactly what's going on that name. IBM, another stock that reported earnings today. Ooh, sold off, and a nice range breakdown on IBM over there, right below 279.87. IBM pushing into 264, right into previous earnings anchored VWAP. I see this very, very often. The stock sells off into previous earnings VWAP and basically holds around that area. So little important, 264, and this could also be in that same basket as FI. It could be in the same basket as TXN, meaning the stock has a decent earnings report and you look for a long to fade off of the pre-market lows, off of the after hour lows, but you need to read the report for that, right? Are they growing? Are they failing? And so on. WEX, another one that reported today after hours, or yes, today after hours, moved into all-time high? Not really. Very low volume, not really anything of important, I guess. CXS, what is this? CSX Corporation, 32 million shares. Did you go higher? A little bit higher, but I don't think that one's important either. More important is American Eagle Outfitters. So a little bit of a breakout on American Eagle Outfitters over there. But, you know, when you have Sydney Sweeney, the Sweetie, coming in and promoting your company, this is the type of breakouts you get, especially when the stock has a high short flow. So about 15% short flow on, what is the stock again? AEO on American Eagle Outfitters. So there you go, about 13% short flow, 13.33. I love it. So looking for more extension, more squeeze, as the Coomers, as they call them, start buying up this position to just because, you know, she promoted it. Donut, obviously, short squeeze basket. I think the move today is more than enough to show you that you don't buy these names and hold on to them for a long time. You know, these are like a hit and run. You just make your money really quick and you run away from it. Don't get caught on the downside. G Pro, another one. So just watch out for all these names that are high short flow and are making some sort of a move. ANF, not really in that short flow basket, but maybe because American Eagle is moving, ANF gets some sympathy to us to take advantage off of. Going back to the Comet browser, I love this browser at the moment. God damn it, stop blasting my email. Okay, tomorrow we got building permits, continuous jobless claims, okay, jobless claims, that's at 8:30, that's important. Composite numbers, PMI numbers, that's also important, that's at 9:45. New home sales at 10 o'clock. 10-year tips auction at 1 o'clock. So it looks like a little busy economic calendar tomorrow. Thankfully spread out a little bit. Not really spread out. It's all around the open. 8:30, 9:45, and then 10 o'clock. And then much later in the day, you got the 10 years tip auction at 1 o'clock. So obviously a little busy. Watch to see how the market moves off of that. At the moment, we are getting positive catalysts from Trump based on, what is it? about the whole tariffs and so on. You know, you're getting Japan making a deal, EU making a deal. Numbers are lower than what they were previously said to be. So we are going in the right direction in the tariff conversations. So hopefully that trend continues and the market just keeps on going back to the upside, baby. The great bull run is not done yet. It's not over, baby. It's not over. Will be over when GME starts to squeeze again, and GME hasn't even started its squeeze. The game ends when GME starts. It hasn't even started. So we got a long way to go, people. A long way to go. Have you looked at MSTR? Thoughts on the short? I think, you know, it's diverging from Bitcoin, so that is something to keep an eye out for. I'm always anti-MicroStrategy. You know, if you look at what he's basically doing, he's basically issuing all these STRK, STRD, which sounds like an STD, honestly, but all these, what is it, preferred stock things, and diluting the crap out of MicroStrategy. So it's like, why would you buy MSTR? It just doesn't make sense anymore. If you're buying MSTR because you want exposure to Bitcoin, just go buy IBIT, dude. Just go buy IBIT if you want exposure to Bitcoin. So for me, the stock is always a slam to the downside, sell it down and sell it, you know, absolutely short it. But if you didn't get it up here, maybe you're a little late. You know, it's going right back into the earnings VWAP at the moment. It's going into a big moving average, which is the 50-day moving average. And then right below it, you have the 200-day moving average. So I think the short was somewhere in this area when it diverged from Bitcoin, because Bitcoin basically popped back up, and this is now continuing to go lower. So if you missed out on there, wait for pops to go short maybe, because you could run into buyers in this area. If there are no buyers in this area, then you know what, the opportunities just open up more and more for the downside on MicroStrategy. So it is something that I am watching, but not interested on the long side at all on this name. So yeah, short is the right idea. Short is the right idea. Any other names you guys want me to take a look at? If not, I'm going to call it a night because I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat some dinner. I'm going to go play with my new browser, my birthday gift, and try to see what use cases I can come up with as a day trader, as a swing trader, as a stock guy in general. What use cases I could come up with this awesome browser integration assistant. I'm gonna call it Jarvis, this awesome browser assistant. Thank you for spending my 31st birthday with me. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, as I will be 31 and 1 day older. Boy, we're getting old over here. My sister-in-law thought I was 32. I had to fight with her a little bit that I'm not 32 years old. No Indian math over here. No Indian math. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Already walked through the econ calendar, and we showed you guys the awesome AI tool for the IPOs. Make sure that those are on your watch list. I will catch you guys next time, same place. Enjoy. Also had a pretty good day on themselves today, so pretty good moves across the board. For tech basket get destroyed. Get ready for trade off of. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below
promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.